We're really excited. The guys have worked very hard. We're getting some people healthy here, and so we're looking forward to kind of being at full strength this year. Obviously, big losses in Georgie Dancer and Jared Small, but the return of Ethan Menzies and Owen Kuntz and just everybody's physical development, another year of maturity and toughness, and getting a group of guys off of red shirts as well. We're very excited about what this group can accomplish.
Ethan, for you had the unfortunate accident right before season started. The practices started last year. Sat on the bench, got to see the game through a different set of eyes. Really, what did you learn from the year? Having to sit out and not being able to do a whole lot.
Probably just not taking it for granted. I think a lot of us kind of go through the motions and take a lot of things on the court for granted. So being out there, not participating, kind of opened my eyes in that sense. So.
Coach, you opened the year with the conference crossover at home. You opened the conference season with 2 big games at home against teams that are going to be in the mix. Just talk about looking ahead to those games and the advantage that starting off at home is going to bring.
Yeah, I think we have, from my perspective, any games against the Lone Star Conference are incredibly important, and we open with 4. So having St. Ed's, who's always really good, and they run all kinds of sets with tremendous pace, always very difficult team to guard. And then Dallas Baptist will be certainly one of the top teams in the region. They have pretty much everybody back. They had an injury-plagued year like we did last year, and they've added 2 kind of big-time transfers. So they'll be a top 20 kind of team. And then we'll have to go on the road to Kingsville International, which will be very talented teams. Kingsville we beat in the NCAA tournament, and now we have to play them on the road. So those will be big challenges. And then obviously as you get in the league, when you look at people like Black Hills and Mines, they're playing. I think when you look at the top 3 teams, and I would even include Fort Lewis in that as a 4th team, it could be as good as the top 4's been, certainly in my time here. So big challenges ahead, and we're just excited, taking it day by day, trying to get better and start getting to play a little more defense here in practice would be good. So,
Trevor, for you were somebody who had a big role last year, a great year, breakout season. Just talk a little bit about moving from that last season into this season, and then how you think the makeup of the team is going to be different this year with Ethan and some other guys.
It'll allow me to play the 4 more often with Ethan coming back. But no, I mean, last year's success doesn't implement with this year's success, so we knew that when our season ended last year, and it was everyone's goal to become back bigger, stronger, better at everything, and I think we all took that to heart. We all pushed ourselves in the off season. We all got a lot better. Took it upon myself to gain weight. I was pretty frail last year, so I tried to put on weight and all that stuff. So really just, trusting the process of just working, and just looking forward to getting to be able to play and showcase the work we all put in.
Questions?
Just talk about this exciting time of the year, basketball season approaching. Talk about some of the goals you guys are trying to talk about as a team, about the stars.
At the end of last year, we knew what we would have coming back this year. And all spring and all summer, we've just been talking about, winning the conference title. And I think we have the capability. I know I've been saying it just to our teams, and the guys have been saying it a lot. Is I think we have the capability to win a national title and compete for a national title on the national scale. Obviously, that doesn't come lightly. It comes with resilience, defense. It comes with everything that's demanded of us. But I think the sky's the limit with the team we have right now, and we're ready.
Ethan, how's it been kind of getting back into the flow of playing with these guys? Because last year a lot, obviously you watched, but they were on the floor and they had that really good chemistry going. Obviously you don't want to come in and screw anything up, but
Yeah, luckily for our team, we have a really good team chemistry, I feel like, and I tried to jump right in right where I left off. Obviously it was a little slow to begin with, and I feel like this past week in practices, I've really hit my stride. they've all accepted me. They're taking it slow with me. There are some things that I do, and it's just, why am I doing that? So it's going to take a little bit for me to get the swing of things. But for the most part, it's been solid, I think. So.
Say it's not like you've never played with them before, because you guys you've been together for 3 years and you're all sophomores, which is very unique for the makeup of a team.
Yeah, we hang out all the time outside of the court, so I mean it's nothing new. So.
Feeling good again?
Yeah, almost there. Feeling like it. Yeah, I'm getting there.
It's the first going back onto the floor. I know the first time, you're just kind of.
It's a little fast, for sure. Yeah. But every day it's getting slower. So.
Yeah. You mentioned a little more emphasis on defense. Or is it just
Well, we've been one of the best defensive teams in the country the last 2 years. Our problem last year was our offense. We couldn't set a screen. We couldn't post up. We had all these guys that could drive it. Everybody forced us to make shots. And so, we needed to tweak some things offensively, put guys in better space. Losing Ethan kind of disrupted the flow of our offense. Georgie and Ethan pick and roll was kind of our go-to thing 2 years ago whenever we needed it down the stretch. And losing that, it was just a little harder. It doesn't fit his game as well. It's not really Mac's game. And then, both those guys played point guard in high school, and then they were our only two post players on the roster for most of the year. So, it was a challenging year, but we needed to be a little bit more diverse what we're doing offensively. So we spent a lot of the fall trying to clean up our offense, make it just put the guys in better spots to be successful, have better flow to the offense. And I think we've accomplished that. But what we've realized is that our defense has slipped a little bit. So this week we've had a little bit more of an emphasis on getting some of those habits back. And the guys have them; they've all done it before. But it's like you're good at what you work at, and we haven't put enough time in yet for that. But that's what's great. We got a scrimmage this weekend, kind of getting ready for that, and they'll have another one next weekend, and just really having a defensive focus as we normally do heading into any kind of competition. I think we'll get a chance to be ready and be at another level than we've been in the past at both ends of the floor.
Trevor, you mentioned being able to go back and play the floor now a little bit more. The timing with you and Ethan now, kind of working off each other. Is it getting there?
Yeah, because freshman year, I was his backup, and whenever he was tired and needed a break, I would come in. But I think, and we got to experience a little bit of that last year. Unfortunately, the injury happened. But this fall, we've played on the same teams and scrimmages and stuff, and we've learned to play off each other. And we're both pretty high IQ players, so we know when to cut, when to move around, when to loop around. So I think we're gaining that chemistry pretty well. And I've had a lot of fun playing with him. It's nice. He's pretty much automatic anywhere around the rim, so it's nice to have that back.
Let him get beat up a little bit.
Exactly, yeah.
Coach, losing Jordy and Jared, two really good guards. What are you looking for your guards to start out this season? What do you want to see from them early on?
Well, they've all made tremendous jumps. Blaze Threet spent the summer in Australia with his dad, who trains professional athletes, who was a former NBA player, and so that really helped him get to another level. Christopher Speller had some personal things going on last year. He was just never really himself, and he's just been absolutely dominating practice. He's just a totally different player. It's kind of back to his approach as a freshman, but he's added skill and strength, and he's just really been playing great. So those two will sort of be our lead guards, and then Reese Johnson just has an incredible work ethic and always brings just a great approach, and he's continued to improve and expand his game, so he's definitely taken a step. And then you can make the case that Isaac Jessup has made the biggest jump of anybody. He was just never really comfortable on the floor last year, and he's just been awesome in practice at both ends. It's just really executing our defense and then just really comfortable. We've kind of found our common ground on his shot selection, and I think we're both really comfortable with where he's at right now and the decisions he's making. So he's totally transformed his game. And then, the issue is going to be, I could keep going because Christian Speller's ready to help us and has had a great fall. Sam Galay is back at full strength and is ready to help us. Owen Kuntz will play inside and out. He's getting healthy. He's been absolutely fantastic on offense. He just hasn't had a lot of defensive reps with all the injuries over the last 2 years. And so, but his game offensively has been just outstanding. So, we have, it's a problem, but it's a good problem in that we really have 12, 13 guys that deserve to be playing, and we probably have 14 or 15 that think they should. So, we've got a really good group and a lot of depth. And last year, there was a stage where we were down to 6 guys, and that was challenging for us. And so hopefully we can stay healthy, and depth can be a real advantage for us this year.
Well, you might be one of the few teams in the nation who you didn't even probably have to look at the transfer portal.
No,
Because you had so many guys back.
We looked, but we were. I was just curious who was on there, but the guys made a commitment to coming back, and we felt like we owed it to them to return that commitment. It's a different world now with the transfer portal, and some people think it's great, some people think it's terrible. I think it's really important for the student athletes to have choices, and if they're not in a good circumstance, to be able to get to a good circumstance. But we've invested in this group, and they've invested in us, and we're really excited about what this group can accomplish, and we believe in them, and we didn't need to add anybody else to this group. We think we got all the pieces we need to compete at a really high level.
Either for Trevor or Ethan, you guys have a really young team this year. You guys have been playing a little bit together, but still a young team. How would you describe being a leader, or how the leadership is on the team in general?
I think even though athletically we're young, it's weird. Coach will call us veterans, and we're technically sophomores athletically, but we've been here for 3 years, so we know the system a lot. But losing Jared and Georgie last year were big because they were our vocal leaders and stuff, so a lot of people have had to step up, just letting the freshmen know what to do and win. But, I think everyone's taken upon themselves to help carry the load. So I wouldn't say there's just one person taking the load that Georgie and Jared carried last year, but I think I chip in, Ethan chips in, Blaze. Everyone who's been here before has been a leader in some way.
Trevor kind of hit it right on the head. I don't think we have that one person that really falls into that leader category. I think because we've been here for 3 years, everyone will kind of help the younger guys out. And even we're still learning, like you said, we're still a young team, so it just takes time.
If I can add to that, one of the things that's been kind of a cool dynamic is that, yes, we don't have that clear, definitive one leader that's the alpha dog in the room that everybody's looking towards, but they have such a strong relationship, and they have respect in the room that they can all step up and lead and have that vocal presence, and it's going to be well received. We've had teams in the past, this is my 22nd year, so I've had a lot of different team dynamics, and we've had, guys that felt they were leaders and tried to be that vocal presence and didn't have the respect of the room. And that's what's kind of cool about this team, is that they really believe in each other, they trust each other, and they respect each other. And so a wide variety of guys can step up in different ways. Mac is going to always be that guy who is going to inspire you with his efforts, and these two guys are going to need to be able to do that more vocally. And along with Blaze has stepped up, with Georgie and Jared being gone, Blaze has really taken on more of that vocal leadership role. We can't get Christopher Speller to open his mouth yet, but that's a bigger challenge. But he's leading by example too, and that's really kind of his thing. And he has that presence about him of supreme confidence. And so we're getting it from lots of different places, and it's a really good team dynamic.
Coach, like you just said, they pretty much bond together. Trevor just said that they hang out together.
Mm-hmm.
How does that make you feel as a coach? I know I've been on some teams where maybe people have groups on the same team. How does that make you feel as a coach?
Well, it makes you feel good, and it makes you not only feel good because part of your job as a coach is to create an environment where people have a good experience. Honestly, when you talk about culture, it's that the people that you are surrounding yourself with get to have a quality experience. And so if you kind of keep that in mind as you're making decisions about recruiting, how's this guy going to fit our group, all those kinds of things, I think it impacts every aspect of your life. And, my kids are getting older now, but for a long time, part of my recruiting vision was, would I want that kid to be a role model for my kids, my personal children? And so, these group guys certainly fit into all those categories of just being people you want to be around And so anytime you see that, you feel like you're maybe being effective at your job. So that's good.
Coach, guys, what did you guys learn from last year's playoff run that you think is going to help you for this year?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me that we learned was just how hard the year was. I think for, like Trevor and the guys that was their first year the year before, they kind of go through, the whole season only losing one game, and then we have a disappointment in the NCAA tournament. So one is we learned as the year went on just how hard it is when everybody's gunning for you, and that you're the centerpiece of everybody's thought process in the offseason, like how are we going to beat them, how are we going to contend with them, and the energy people play with. I mean, I think the Warriors already lost twice this year, and every night they're getting everybody's best effort, and that game was marked on the calendar. And we felt that way last year, is that we were kind of that marked team. And I don't know emotionally if we understood that target was on our back and how hard it was going to be. So one, that toughened us up to understand that every game it's a battle. And then two was, I think we were all so nervous in that first game. I mean, after the 2 years ago, we make it, we got a good team, the tournament gets canceled. Then, we have just really not a good performance the year after. So to come back last year, there was just like a huge relief in the locker room after the game. And I think that, just that sense of how hard it is to win in the tournament, and that, I always say the NCAA tournament is a fickle mistress. You just never know what you're going to get, and you got to be ready because, you can go on a magical run or it can be over in 40 minutes. And so, I think we've learned that toughness that it takes just to play at a high level and be able to do it over the long term of a regular season or that short term of when you only get 40 minutes or your season's over.
All right, question of the week.
All right, you guys, question of the week. So Halloween's coming up this weekend. Throughout your life, could be recent, could be when you were a little kid, what's your favorite Halloween costume that you've dressed as?
Last Halloween, my girlfriend and I dressed up as Anakin Skywalker and Padme. So I thought that was a pretty good one.
My favorite one might have been freshman year, where Reese and I, we dressed up as Lewis. I was the kid from Meet the Robinsons, the movie. I was the blonde kid with the glasses, and he was, I think, our Wilbur. So there's a picture of me and him posed as the exact same. So that was probably my favorite one because I get compared to him a lot. So that was probably my favorite one.
I'm terrible at these questions, first of all, and I'm not a big Halloween guy, and so I don't like dressing up. So I had a going thing when we were going to parties, and I would just dress up as an official. So, and so that was easy, and I don't think it won me any points with the actual officials though. But anyways, nothing good. So.